Hey there, if you are watching this, then you are looking for further explanation from the Postural Prowess presentation, or perhaps you are about to go to the Postural Prowess presentation and you're going through the notes early, which is great. We are going to be talking about some things you can do during your workout that can also help posture. Now, I am not at a gym, so we are going to have to improvise a little bit, and these are certainly things you can do at home as well. You don't have to be at a gym. And I'm going to verbally talk you through some exercises that you can add into the workouts you're already doing. So let's get started. We've already covered some stretches and some basic strengtheners, and now these are things you can just add in to help build that posture back to something that is more optimal for your structure. So starting with bird dog. When we do a bird dog exercise, the idea is that we're trying to fire up core, and core runs the whole body. And so we want to make sure that we are firing that regularly. And so you're going to get into an all fours position. You're going to extend one arm out, and then you're going to extend the opposite leg out. Now, if you find that that creates too much instability and you can't hold it without you can't hold it while contracting a good core. This is all about form. So we want to make sure that your form is correct and you're not putting your low back at risk. And so if you can't do both at the same time, you can start by just using the arms and in all fours. And I'm going to demonstrate here in just a second, but I want to talk you through it before we do the exercise. The second, a more advanced phase of that is to do a bird dog from a plank position. So that means your knees are off the ground now, so we've just upped the instability piece to make it harder. And I do not recommend doing this until you are really confident with your all fours bird dog. So I'm going to just show you the all fours bird dog, and then you can advance to the plank position if you so choose. So we get into an all fours position, just like this, and we extend out our arm, and if this is hard for you, then stop there. And certainly when you move to the plank position, sometimes just extending out an arm can be very difficult. So we extend out that arm, and then, so we got this, and then we're gonna do the opposite leg. So together, it's like this. Now you always want to check in to make sure your core is tight, so squeeze those core muscles, and you want to hold for about 15 to 20 seconds and then do the opposite side. So that's bird dog, and these are great exercises to do just at the end of your workout when you're doing core work anyway. So the second one is the Superman, and that's where you're just going to lie on the floor on your tummy, and your hands are going to be out here, and what you're going to do is you're just going to lift up, arms off the ground, feet off the ground, only this much, 1 to 2 inches, and hold it. And you want to make sure that you're using your glutes and your low back to fire to bring you into that position. It's harder than it looks, so I encourage you to try it. Maybe start with just a few seconds until you get the hang of it, and then you can start to build up. So that exercise looks like hands out and up, and holding for that amount of time that is comfortable for you. Lat pull down. So let's grab the chair. So the lat pull down machine in the gym is the one that you sit and you reach up and you pull down toward you. You've probably all seen it if you work out in the gym. You've probably even used it. And here are some caveats. Lots of people pull down behind their head. Please do not do this. We spend too much time with our head out off our shoulders as it is. It's also a stress on the cervical spine and can create problems, if not full-on injuries. We are pulling down in front. So you sit, you get comfortable, feet flat on the ground, you set the weight to something minimal until you get the form correct, and then you can start to up the weight. Your arms should be kind of wide, so reach up and grab, so you're not reaching up straight arm like this, you want to be out here. The more you are out here, and as you pull down, it's going to fire those latissimus muscles, and that's the goal. Those are some key postural muscles to help stabilize your shoulder blades and your mid-back. And so all we do is we reach up and we pull down to the sternum. Okay, so I've got a bar in front of me and it's gonna hit very close to the sternum. You may even lean back just a little bit, not a lot, to get that bar in front of your face and toward your sternum. And that's the exercise. And those lat pull downs are great, and they put your shoulders through a full range of motion. It's a fantastic exercise. I encourage you to try it. The next exercise we're going to talk about are reverse flies. And you can do those from an upright position or a bent over position. And so by that, I mean you can do them standing or you can do them bent over. And what you do is take a set of dumbbells, make it light, because again, our mid-back and postural muscles tend to be very weak. So when you are starting to build up strength there, you're gonna find that you need to use much lower weight than you do for your bicep curls or for anything else. And so you're gonna take some light dumbbells, you're gonna put them in your hands, and your palms are facing each other. And then from a bent position, we keep our core nice and tight. We have a grasp, and we just bring it out and back like a bird flapping its wings. Okay, do you see how that can really contract those shoulder blades well? And so those reverse flies are great. And you can also, again, just do them from an upright position as well. You'll have to go even lighter because now gravity is pulling that weight down. And so I usually, just pick up a very light weight and do them nice and slowly and controlled, being very careful not to bring my shoulders up to recruit the muscles that I don't want to be using. And so make sure to keep those shoulders down, keep the movement nice and slow. And when you're doing either bent over or upright, those shoulder blades are coming together and squeezing and then rolling back out. Okay, that's reverse flies. Next we have rowing. Rowing is phenomenal for posture. Such a great exercise. I would almost say all of these exercises are important, but this is such a really good one. Now, when you are rowing, if you are on a dynamic machine like an ergometer, then your butt is sliding back and forth as well. I recommend starting with a stationary Nautilus weight machine so that your butt isn't necessarily moving back and forth. It's a lot of movements to coordinate. And since we really are kind of just focusing on the posture, using a stationary seat can be really effective. And so what we're doing from there, usually our feet are up a little bit based on the machine. And you're gonna set the weight low again, and you're gonna grasp the handle, and you're gonna pull back and hit the bottom of your sternum. My elbows slide by my sides, my shoulder blades pull together, and that's just a simple rowing exercise. And so if you are on the Nautilus machine, you can do 3 sets of 10 or 12 at a weight that is very reasonable and that you feel kind of fatigued and tired at the end of. If you choose to do an ergometer, my recommendation is that you get some coaching on how to use it effectively with the right form. I can't tell you how many people I see using the ergometer in ways that are not safe for their body. And so there is some real form technique that is important to be aware of before you jump on there and go to town. So that's rowing. Now, squats and lunges. You might think, what do squats and lunges have to do with posture? Well, again, when we build up our glute musculature and fire up our core, our posture can't help but improve. Strong foundation creates a strong and more flexible upper part. And so that's really key as well. And we can be working on standing up nice and tall when we're doing these squats or lunges. So when we do squats or lunges, we want to make sure to protect the knees. We don't want the knees going too far over the ankle, right? Your knee should always, if you dropped a plumb line, should go through the back of the ankle. On all of these exercises, you want to drive through the heel, not through the front of the foot. And so that'll help you fire the posterior, what's called the posterior chain, where you get lots of glute work and even some hamstring work to strengthen those up as well. And so these are really great exercises. I'm going to just demonstrate very simply a good form squat and then a good form lunge. There are tons of variations on these, and so please do your research, get a proper trainer to show you some of the modifications that you can make and the advanced type variations on the exercise, and so that will be good. So with a squat, we want to come down, and you can use your arms to balance in front. Okay, we want to lean back in the heels a little bit, almost like you're trying to sit in a chair, because if you're too far forward, that creates some risk on the knees, and it also limits the amount that we're working on those glute muscles, and it kind of puts more stress on other areas. Okay, so that's a simple squat. Now, simple lunge, we are simply standing, we take a step forward, and we come down and back up and back. And then we take the other side and down and up. Now notice that my body stays upright. I love what a trainer told me. He said, elevator, not escalator. So we're not driving this way, we're elevator up and down. So my shoulders and my body do not pitch forward, stays upright. So just as a recap, we talked about bird dog and the 2 variations on that, Superman. We talked about reverse flies. We talked about lunges and squats, and a missing one. We talked about rowing was the other one. So those are some nice strengthening tools you can use to help fire up your posture. And as always, because you've probably watched some of the other videos, I'm Dr. Heather, and I'm with Well Fit and Fed. Please reach out if you have any questions at all.